What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to talk about AMC, GME as well as the broader market. So today AMC was up for 0.38% for the day. It had a high of $16.55. The average volume on AMC is around 43.94 million, but today's volume was around 34.22 million. The volume is definitely keeping up. It's not that low the way it was in last few days. We definitely need some sort of a catalyst coming into AMC in order to create that squeeze, or else something like this back and forth will keep going on for a longer period of time. And now when we come over to GME, GME was up for 3.76% for the day. It had a high of $99.40. Average volume on GME is around 3 million now, but today's volume was around 3.95 million. The volume on GME has gone up significantly. Every day there is a higher volume coming into GMEs. Now when we come over to the stock tracker, the interest has gone up quite a bit significantly in order to borrow some shares to short the stock. So that means they can't short the stock easily. Now this is the only thing which is creating some sort of a bull trend into GME. A lot of investors are buying into the stock just because of this news out there. As we can see, in the past week it was around 4.7. Now the fee had gone up for shorting this stock. Now when we come over to the SPY was down for 0.3% at the end of the day. It had a high of $446.46. Now, as we know that the situation in Europe is getting really out of control. Now, Russia is continuously bombarding Ukraine and there is no end coming to it. And they had some meeting as well in order to come to some sort of a conclusion and have a ceasefire. But still that thing is not in progress yet. And now today, this morning, Jerome Powell came out and he started talking about inflation. He said it very clearly. If we have to act aggressively in order to control the inflation, they can increase the interest rate to maybe 50 basis point. Now, after the meeting that we had this morning, it sounds like Jerome Powell might be increasing 50 basis point in the month of May. That's something that we have to look forward to, because if there is a 50 basis point, I'm pretty sure there will be some sort of a downtrend coming into the SPY. Now we know that last week that the SPY has been going up consistently for last 4 days. It was up over 1% every day. And now we're expecting some sort of a pullback coming into the SPY, but we never know. This bull trend can keep going up. But if you ask me personally, if I think the bottom is there, that we expect only uptrend from here, I don't think so, because the current situation around the world is not going back to normal. We have COVID cases going up all around the world. We have the war situation happening in Europe. Third, we have the inflation is still going up. So this kind of a market rally doesn't make any sense. And it's just a matter of time when we're going to experience some sort of a significant downtrend coming into the SPY. It can happen any moment with any news out there. Now let's come over to the options flow for AMC. Now by looking at the options flow for AMC, I can tell you majority of investors are on to the downside, but there is a significant amount of call buying that is happening in AMC right now, which was never seen before till last week. Every individual was on to the downside for the stock, but from this week onwards, I have seen a lot of people are onto the upside as well into AMC stock. And now when I increase the premium to max and see what the whale was doing, there was no any massive whale that came in today in order to bet that the stock is going to go down or up from here onwards. But I can assure you a lot of people are buying puts as well as call, which is going to expire in 3 days time. But most of them were on to the downside and they are betting that the AMC is going to go down from here onwards. Individual investors are buying very heavy contracts and betting that the AMC will go down in within 3 days. Rest, there was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow for AMC. Now let's come over to the options flow for GME. I have increased the premium to max and I can see it very clearly. Majority of the investors are on to the downside and they are all betting that the GME is going to go down from here onwards. When I bring down the premium and see what exactly the retail is doing, majority of the retail are on to the downside as well. But there were a lot of call buying that was happening today, and these investors are betting that the GME might experience a upward momentum into the stock. There was nothing majorly suspicious coming out of the options flow for GME. Now let's come over to the options flow for the SPY. Now, by looking at the options flow, I can tell you very clearly that majority of them are still on to the downside, and this thing can be seen by the market maker. The kind of pumps that we are experiencing in the market recently, it is basically due to the market maker knowing what the retail is doing, and they are making the stock market go exactly in the opposite direction. Now, there were few trades that came in that were a little bit suspicious into my knowledge. These were these three trades that came in. One was $439 put that came in, that's going to expire in 1 day, and this individual is paying $424,000 for it, and he's buying 3,500 contracts for it. That was another one, $437 put option that's going to expire in 1 day, and this individual is buying 7,000 contracts, and this is $435 put option that's going to expire in 1 day, and this individual is paying $199,000 for it, and he's buying 3,500 contracts for it. Now these three trade that came in, and which tells there were few people those who were betting that the SPY is going to go down in just couple of days time, but there were a lot of call buying that was happening in SPY today. There were a lot of individual those who were betting that the SPY is going to go up from here onwards. Now when I increase the premium to max and I see what are the big massive whales are doing, as you can see it very clearly, these whales are on to the upside for the stock, and they are all betting that the SPY is going to go up from here onwards. There were few whales those who were on to the downside, but majority of them are onto the upside. Now we can see over here this 390 and 380, 385, 385 put option these individuals are buying. They are giving a lot of time to themselves, but that's the resistance point that we are expecting, that the SPY will definitely get a jump from there onwards. Now when I look at the put to call ratio, definitely the put side is heavier than the call side, but we just have to wait and see how this is going to play out, because now the market is basically running on the news. If there is any negative news that come into the SPY related to Russia and Ukraine, it can create some sort of a downtrend, and this week we are having some meetings with the FOMC members, and they might give some statement which can create some sort of a downtrend into the market. We just have to wait and see how this is going to play out. Hope so you like my video. Please like and subscribe my channel, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.